The AX and CX series from Cambridge Audio cover a wide range of prices and use cases. We thought it would be interesting to look at the various models in these two series to help you understand which ones might be the best fit for your system. We've reviewed several of them individually, and you'll find the links within this video if you want to read about a particular model in more detail. You'll also find a link in the description to our full article comparing the AX and CX series. Now let's get started. Founded in 1969 by some budding engineers at Cambridge University in the UK, the company has always been about making high-value products that do not alter the sound of the incoming signal. The Cambridge Audio team will spend countless hours evaluating the component parts used in their designs to pick the ones that sound the most neutral. Two of their core values have been to use toroidal power transformers and to keep the signal path as simple as possible. They pioneered the use of toroidal power transformers with their very first integrated amp, and the audio world followed suit as almost all high-performance audio gear makes use of toroidal power transformers. Cambridge Audio also makes great use of something we love to see in audio components: trickle-down technology. The engineering team at Cambridge Audio was given a goal of making a new line of the best sounding gear they could, with the price being a distant concern. This resulted in the highly acclaimed Edge series. Much of the new technology they learned when producing Edge was incorporated into the new AX and CX models. Had they never made Edge, these new technologies would not even have existed to incorporate it into the new AX and CX models. First, I'll go over the things both product ranges have in common. With 4 models in each lineup, we thought it was pretty neat that Cambridge Audio decided to give both series the same cosmetic appearance so you can easily mix and match them. All 8 products come in a new lunar gray finish and have a floating look from the front. All of the amplifiers and their receivers use their classic toroidal power transformer for better sound. Another classic Cambridge trait we love is the way they print all of the labels on the back, both right side up and upside down. The first time you lean over the back of a component to try to make a connection, you'll have a great appreciation for this nuance. The amps and receivers in the CX and AX series all use very high quality speaker binding posts, which is pretty amazing to see on something as inexpensive as the CXA35. The front panel layout is also super clean and easy to figure out. And as we said, not only do they match in color, but the layouts are done in the same style to make mixing and matching within the lines no issue from a cosmetic standpoint. Now let's take a look at the different models to help you find the best match for your system. The AX models were replacement for Cambridge Audio's acclaimed Topaz series, which had won tons of press for being such a great audio value. It got a completely new look and a lot of tech from their more expensive models. The AXC35 is an entry-level integrated amp, but by no means is it entry-level sound. While this amp is rated at 35 watts per channel, its massive power supply makes it sound a whole lot bigger than you would think. This is the perfect product for someone stepping up in their first separate analog audio system. There are no digital inputs on the AXC35, but it comes with a very decent built-in moving magnet phono preamp. You also get 4 more rear analog inputs and even record out for those of you going retro with an old school cassette deck. The front panel offers up a real headphone amp and another mini plug analog input. Bass, treble, and balance controls can be accessed via the menu or remote. This is the perfect amp to pair with a good set of bookshelf speakers to create a great starter analog audio system. With plenty of inputs for other sources, you get the great Cambridge Audio British sound for well under $400. The 2 AXR units are stereo receivers, which means they are an integrated amp with a built-in AM/FM tuner. The AXR85 takes all of the great features found in the AXA35 and gives you a power section that is rated at 85 watts per channel. To accomplish this, the physical chassis did get almost twice as tall, so you'll have more space taken up than the sleek AXA35 does, but you'll get in return better dynamics and to our ears more bass impact. The phono preamp is the same as the one in the AXA35, and the addition of a Bluetooth receiver is a pretty big bonus for streaming from a smartphone. There's one less analog input on the AXR85 compared to the AXA35, and you lose the charging USB port on the back, but the tone and balance controls remain as well, along with the record outs for a cassette deck. You'll also get the ability to have 2 pairs of speakers connected to the AXA85, with switching for either A, B, or A plus B. Throw in a subwoofer output and you have one heck of a receiver for under $400. This unit is truly one of the jewels of the audio world with its feature set and classic Cambridge sound. It's so good you can take the money you save and spend a little more on speakers to get more bang for your buck. The big advantage of the AXR100 for its extra $100 is the addition of digital inputs. Everything else is identical feature-wise to the AXR85. It has 2 Toslink and 1 coax digital input. While it's rated at 15 watts more per channel, we really didn't experience a huge difference in perceived power output or performance. The DAC in the AXR100 is high resolution capable, so it's likely going to sound better than the digital stage of an older CD player you might want to use with it. If your CD player, streamer, or TV have digital outputs, we would recommend using the DACs in the AXR100 for most cases. The bottom line here is if you need the digital inputs, get the AXR100, but if not, the AXR85 is the best value. While vinyl sales have now surpassed CD sales, there's still lots of CDs out there in the market, and it's actually getting kind of hard to find a high-quality, reasonably priced CD player. That is one reason why we love the little AXC35. This is a simple-to-use, single-disc CD player with fairly high-end Wilson DACs and gapless playback. It even has digital out should you wish to use it as a CD transport with an even better DAC like you might find in the CX series gear. Since its styling matches either series, you can pair it up with the CX series and it will look like a matched stack of components. We challenge you to find a better sounding CD player out there for under $500, as this unit has a nice warm sound with no trace of digital edge. Next up is the CX series. The CX series has been around in the Cambridge lineup for years. Their latest versions offer refreshed cosmetics and internal updates they learned when they created their top-of-the-line award-winning Edge gear. These units are all about stripping back anything some might consider extras to allow their engineers to focus purely on creating the best possible sound for the money. When you compare the CXA61 or CXA81 to the AX series, you get a far bigger power supply and a much more stout power amp section. These amps can drive just about any speaker load except for the most demanding speakers. The CXC61 has a lively sound that will pull you deep into the music. Input-wise, you get 4 analog inputs on the rear, plus a mini-plug analog on the front panel. There is 1 coax digital input, 2 Toslink digital inputs, and a USB digital input for computer audio. The DAC Cambridge Audio chooses for the CXC61 is an ESS Sabre ES9010K2M. This is the DAC capable of high-res audio. Bluetooth gets upgraded to AdaptX HD for better audio performance. Compared to the AX series, you do lose tone controls and the phono preamp. When you get into this quality of an amp, Cambridge Audio feels you prefer to have a separate phono preamp. We agree on the phono preamp, but we would have liked to have seen the tone controls stick around. But they told us they put the money in those circuits would have cost towards better components in the signal path. You'll also get a preamp out, subwoofer out, and 2 sets of speaker connections for A, B, or A plus B. When we first heard the CXC61, it felt just right. You'll experience a much better sense of dynamics and bass impact compared to the AX models, and for us, the music sounds like it's coming from a quieter background. The stereo soundstage, when you're sitting right in front of your speakers, is also much bigger and wider. Of course, this model is twice the cost of the most expensive AX model, so it should be better. But there is no doubt in our minds, if you have decent speakers, you'll easily hear the improvement. The big deal on the Cambridge Audio CXA81 over the CXA61 for the $300 jump is a jump in the DAC section. Cambridge Audio chose the ESS Sabre ES9016K2M. Feature-wise, other than the DAC upgrade, you get 1 set of balanced audio inputs and an even more robust power amp section. Otherwise, the units are identical from an input-output standpoint. To our ears, the CXA81 has a warmer, more refined sound than the CXA61. Some people may actually prefer the more upfront sound of the CXA61, but for us, we like the extra subtle details you hear and an improvement in what feels like a more effortless sound quality. And there's no question to us, the amp sounds bigger than the extra 20 watts per channel. This guy has guts and can drive some pretty difficult speaker loads with ease. The CXC is what is called a CD transport. The difference between a CD transport and a full CD player is that a transport does not have a digital to analog conversion section or analog audio outputs. It simply pulls the digital stream off of the disc and sends it to the coax or toslink digital outputs on the rear of the unit. You may wonder, why would Cambridge Audio just not go ahead and make a complete CD player? Well, if you noticed, both the CX integrated amps have really good DACs already inside. Cambridge made the great decision to put more money into a better transport and leave the D to A conversion to their products that already have great DACs. Cambridge had already developed a state-of-the-art CD driver known as their S3 Servo for their high-end Azure series. This is the same drive in the CXC. It has levels of jitter rejection and error correction that you might see in multi-$1,000 CD drives. They also designed the chassis to be very well isolated so that external vibrations that could affect performance are minimized. This CD transport is so good we have many audio lovers at Audio Advice who use it with all kinds of brands of DACs. You will just not find a better CD transport out there for under $2,000 in our opinion. The CXN V2 is a network streamer and is by far our most popular Cambridge Audio component, as it can be used in just about any high-performance audio system. You can pull music files from your network, an attached USB drive, and Chromecast or AirPlay too. Bluetooth is an option with an adapter, but with both Chromecast and AirPlay it's really not necessary. Computer audio is also ready to go with a high-end USB input. The free Cambridge Audio Stream Magic app has been around for years, and it's continually getting upgraded and offers a great free interface for your smartphone or tablet. The CXN V2 also gets you into the high-performance streaming services of Qobuz, Tidal, and Spotify Connect built in. Being software-driven, the CXN V2 can benefit from future upgrades, and Cambridge Audio just did one we've been asking for. They made the unit totally compatible with Roon. Audio-wise, the CXN V2 uses dual Wolfson WM8740 24-bit DACs. To our ears, these are even better than the ones in the CXA81. But if you wanted to use it as a streaming source with a very high-end multi-$1,000 DAC, it gives you both toslink and coax digital outputs. Cambridge Audio also understands you may have more digital sources you want to run through the unit, so they give you a coax and toslink digital input. For connecting it to your integrated amp or preamp, you have both balance and RCA outputs. The final icing on the cake is the fact you can set up the CXN V2 to have either fixed or variable output. This means you could use it in the fixed output mode to run into your integrated amp or preamp, but if you just wanted a digital-only system, you can connect it directly to a power amp. The CXN V2 is just flat out an incredible product for the money you can use with any system and in a variety of ways. We hope this overview has given you a better understanding of the AX and CX products. They cover a wide range of prices and possibilities, and we are happy to discuss with you which route is the best choice for your system. The AX gear is great for the music lover just starting out, while the CX gear can easily satisfy someone looking for even more performance. We also highly recommend people looking for great performance to not write off the CX gear because it costs less than they would expect to pay for great sound. If you're like us, it will have you grinning ear to ear as it just sounds so good for the money. Thanks for watching. If you have any further questions on the AX or CX series or any other home audio or home theater gear, be sure to give us a call, chat with us on audioadvice.com, or stop into one of our Raleigh or Charlotte, North Carolina showrooms. We'll see you next time.